here's the deal. Nothing in life is free. Big surprise! But it turns out many of us still believed that some things in life are free, or at least cheaper, without costing us anything. This week, something lit the internet abuzz, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this episode of Mohr About. Yeah, that's the logo, the show in which my last name turns into a bad joke about me speaking more in depth about issues that I feel haven't been discussed in enough details in other media outlets. So let's go to the other screen. And this week, a YouTuber called Megalag, which I regret to, I'm ashamed to say I haven't heard about ever, even though he's been active for years. He's Australian, he's a tech blogger, he exposes all sorts of tech scams. And his last video from this week, if I go to the window and scroll it a little down, you can see this is the video. I won't name any names, but you can see it has 10 million views for him exposing the honey influencer scam. And I want to talk about it in length because I feel even though he's not finished, that there's a second part coming sometime, I still feel there are some details that are not clear enough in his version of things. I'm not going to play the video and react to it like other people do online. That's not why I'm here. So basically what's happened, I urge you to click the link in the description and go watch his description, but just to make the details clear. When you click, when you watch a YouTube channel, usually you'll have a sponsor segment or just an ad for the YouTuber, and he'll say, okay, everything I talk about in this video or all my equipment is available to purchase on usually Amazon, but it could be anything else, any other online retail site. And he'll have a link in the description. And when you click it, what happens is, that's a bit too small to show, so I won't do it live. But when you click a link in a YouTube channel or a website that covers tech or any other sort of product, usually what happens is you're taken to the product page on the retail site, but in the address bar up there in the browser, you'll see that the address is very, very long, because after the web page address, which is usually amazon.com/product/ a very long, like 20 character number, there will be a question mark, ref equals, and another very long string. That part of the address, that question mark, ref equals anything, is an add-on to the address, a suffix, if you will, that is meant to tell the website this person came from there. What's there? It could be another website, a YouTube channel, anything, anywhere you could put a link, you can add that identifier to it. And any YouTuber has his own identifier for links to Amazon. And when you click them, Amazon knows where did he come from. He came from the channel of a certain YouTuber. Any of them. Sorry, I keep saying YouTubers because that's the term, but it could be anyone on Rumble too. Okay. And there are a few people here. So what happens is when you click that link, they know you came from that person and they pay them commission, or so those YouTubers think. Honey, and let's go back to that screen. If you don't know the website, it's owned by PayPal nowadays, but it used to be a separate company. You see the logo. It's this orange thing. you basically install their add-on on your web browser, and that's how it looks. And you'll have that orange H button on your browser, and when you are on a merchant's site, it will pop up. I think there is a demo of that in the website. It will pop up this pop-up window, and it will tell you, this product can be purchased for a cheaper price than you currently see if you put in a coupon that we found. At least that's what they claim to do. So they have been, for years and years, they have been very aggressively marketing themselves by paying YouTubers to tell you, oh, that's the most lucrative way to shop online because you get everything for cheaper without paying anything. And you're paying us a certain commission for everything you purchase because you came from us. Yeah, that's not how it works, apparently. What happens is when you click that H button, when you click a link, your web browser goes to that address. Add-ons that are installed on the browser can strip that last identifier from the address and replace it with something else. So what Honey does is it strips the link of the YouTuber you just clicked and replaces it with its own identifier, and then the commission goes not to the YouTuber but to Honey. And do they give you any service for that? Absolutely not. Their coupons are, well, usually they don't work at all. And even if they do, that YouTuber, Megalag, went and checked, and they were never the the biggest discounts. They were always the smallest you can find online. So they give the merchants the option to say, okay, we don't want anyone to have more than a certain discount that is very small. And even if we did hand out coupons for bigger discounts to certain sites to draw in more audience and crowd and purchases, we don't want everyone to use that better code. We want everyone to use the worst code and have 5% off instead of 15%. And that's how it went on for years. They stole your money, they stole the YouTuber's money. And in the second part that's coming in Megalag's channel, he's probably going to, I deduce by the clues he had in the end of his video, that certain online shops actually were robbed by that company to force them to bring the prices up. Otherwise, they would just go bankrupt. So, my points are: first, when you watch a YouTube channel and you see an ad or any promotion of any kind that isn't for the person talking, they usually have no idea what they're talking about. Even if it's a tech YouTuber, I mean, I have been covering tech for 20 years. I'm not a tech YouTuber because I talk about other stuff too. But let me tell you, even I don't know everything about tech. I can explain exactly how the money switch is done here in this particular case. I know some of the details, not all of them. It's about the identifier in the address and the cookies, but I don't know. I cannot explain 100% of the process, just 50%, maybe even less. So all those people you watch online are, every single one of them is ignorant about the parts they don't want to know. And when they have a big advertiser paying them to promote it, they never look into. I mean, I know some of them claim we checked and this is the best product of its kind. No, they haven't. They received a deal to take money and they took it. That's the the due diligence for YouTubers and some journalists as well. I hope to never become that, because I think that's pure evil. You're lying to your audience. If I don't know anything, I'll tell you that I don't know it. So those YouTubers turned out to be complete dummies who gave up their own money and got the worst deal of their lives with that company, Honey. And now it's PayPal, and it's still going on. Some of those YouTubers are still promoting this, which is so hilarious, because on Linus Tech Tips channel, apparently they have known for at least 2 or 4 years since COVID about the honeypot scam, as I call it in the title. And they still work with them because they get money paid in advance, so they don't have to wait for the viewers to go and purchase anything for them to get a commission. But most of them don't even realize they're not getting commissions. They think they're getting paid twice. First to talk about Honey, and then from people buying through Honey. But it doesn't work that way. If you go and purchase a product, only one third party will get a commission for it. It doesn't divide into two, okay? It's not because they can't. They don't want to. And they have the ability to prevent that by having the add-on that is on your web browser, and add-ons have access to everything you do on your web browser because you give them permissions, and that's an issue for a different video. They can intercept your surfing in so many ways. And I can tell you, for example, I use, still part of the time, I use a browser called Vivaldi, which is a version of Chrome stripped out of Google. There's nothing Google on it. And it has DuckDuckGo as the search engine. It's stripped of Google and with a much, much better interface. And some features that you won't find in Chrome, like a built-in ad blocker, which is also something I'm going to talk about in a future video. And Vivaldi never told me, but I noticed on myself, by myself, that whenever I type Amazon in my address bar, it doesn't go to the way referral links work is the last one you clicked. For example, if you watch me now and I have an Amazon affiliate link in the description and you click it, from this moment until the next time you click another YouTuber's or something else's referral link, every purchase you make, even if it had nothing to do with whatever I promoted, I'll get a commission because I'm the last advertiser to have referred to Amazon. Vivaldi has a system because it's a browser and it controls where I go on the browser. Whenever I type the word Amazon, they add their own referral code. So every time I go to Amazon on Vivaldi, Vivaldi gets the commission, no matter which YouTube channel I went through. Vivaldi will get it. It's a very sneaky, unethical practice. It's not unethical. It would be ethical if they told you they were doing it. But if I wasn't a tech journalist, I would never even notice that because they do it in a sneaky way. And Vivaldi is such a good browser. I have no problem with them taking a commission of anything I buy from Amazon or any other retailer because they are doing great work on the browser. But please tell your customers how you are making money off of them. They need to know. It needs to be transparent. The same goes for honey. I don't think it's illegal what they did. It's perfectly legal, but well, some of it. The YouTube part is legal. The fake coupons part is something that is probably going to be interrogated in some Congress in some countries. But there needs to be a widespread, worldwide demand for companies online to be transparent about how they make money. Is it by showing us ads? Is it by selling our data, which most companies do? I mean, your cell phone provider, which you pay in most countries, very big amounts of money to. I mean, I live in Israel. I pay practically nothing for phone service. But in other countries, like in Switzerland, it costs 3 times as much. In the US, I think 5 times as much. And still, if you go to websites that collect information about data mining and data selling, you'll find out that every single cell phone provider in the whole wide world takes whatever you do and sells it to Adobe usually. Adobe is, you probably know them as the Photoshop company or the, how is it called? Not Vegas. Vegas is Sony. The video editing program. Premiere. They're that company. And they have been mining data since the very beginning of the internet. People thought of them initially as the Adobe Acrobat, the PDF document format, and Flash, which was the interactive content online. That was never their point. Their point was always to mine data. Adobe is the largest intelligence agency in the world. That's like, there's not even competition. And if you go into any financial website, you'll see every holiday season, you get those big stories from Adobe about how much people spent online. How do they know? They don't have any, they are not Amazon. They don't know what people buy, but they do, because everyone sells them your data. And nobody tells you about it. If I wasn't a tech reporter, I would never know about it. So again, there needs to be more transparency about it. Also, it's not just the referral links business. It's also coupons. When you buy something off, what was the name of that green website, a Groupon, usually you're not getting a good deal. It's just they're selling you a garbage product for allegedly less than it should cost if it was a better made product, or they are just selling you the product for a very, very small coupon that is way, the margin is way smaller than you're being led to believe. And what else? So I touched the point about not believing, about YouTubers not knowing what they promote. It doesn't go only for tech YouTubers. It goes for everyone. In Rumble and other right-wing media, I know there's a lot of ads for sell companies that don't sell your data. Bullshit. For VPN services. That's the funniest part. Like Ben Shapiro, Dan Bongino, I think. They sell you what's the company's name? ExpressVPN, which I'd never use because they are a very shoddy corporation. And all those ads tell you that once you install them, no big tech company can follow you online. There's just one problem with that theory. It only works if you don't go into their websites, which is every single website most of us go to. You search on Google, Google sees you. no matter how many VPNs you have or how much you pay for it. You go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp. They see you. They know exactly who you're talking to, what you're saying if you're not using WhatsApp, which is encrypted. Every site, every news site that you go to, well, now it's less so, but in the past, every website has the like button from Facebook, and that like button, the point was never to like the article. It was so that Facebook could make the news outlets let it spy on what people read and what interests them, so it knows what to sell them on ads. Yeah, so that's the VPN part. So what you should do if you want to be safe online is, first of all, close all your Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever big tech company, Microsoft, most of all, accounts that you're using. Number two, this should be obvious, but apparently it's not, because Chrome browser's market share is about 90%, I believe, which is ridiculous. Chrome browser is the second largest spy software in the world after Adobe. Chrome tells Google everything you do. So again, no VPN can protect you from Chrome. And, well, not exactly, but I'm simplifying things very much, because most of us use Chrome in a way that tells Google whatever you do. Because you're connected to your Google account on the browser, and it sees where you're going, even if you don't use Google as a search engine. What else? Don't use Chrome. Don't use Edge if you're using Windows, which is most of the world. Not so much in the US, where Apple is very popular, but Microsoft Windows is the operating system of choice in 95% of the world, I think. It doesn't matter if you're using Windows 11, 10, 7, even XP. Well, no, XP didn't have spyware, but 7, I'm not sure, but everything after 8 had spyware on it. Windows 10 is a spyware. By definition, if you check the Wikipedia definition of a spyware, Windows is a spyware in the last 3 versions. Microsoft has, again, I'm just mentioning things I'll do separate videos about. Microsoft has turned, ever since Satya Nadella took over the company, Microsoft turned Windows into the largest spyware in the world. Not just spyware, it's also malware. If you have any reason, and if you don't have to use Windows, if your employer doesn't control your use of computers at home, or if you don't need Adobe software, which only work on Mac and Windows laptops, and they know exactly why they're doing that, move to Linux. There are several Linux distributions these days. You can barely, 2 years ago, I was working in a place, and I was using my own laptop from home, and even leaving it in the office. And one weekend, one of my colleagues calls me and asks me what the password for the laptop that was on my desktop was. And I say, why should I give you my personal laptop's software? He says, what do you mean personal? It's the work. It's a work laptop, right? I said, no, that's my personal laptop that I bought with my own money. He said, well, the boss told me to take it home because none of the other laptops were available this weekend for the weekend shift. So I gave him the password, and I said, well, do you want to stay on the line with me so I can explain to you how to make things work on that computer since it's running Linux Mint. And he types in the password and he goes in and he says, no, I know exactly what to do. It looks exactly the same. Like I know, it's just another background. The icons are the same. You have the same browsers. Well, Vivaldi instead of Chrome, but still the same. I mean, all browsers look very similar to one another. And he didn't even notice it was another OS. I asked him, "Are you sure you can?" And he did the whole shift without asking me one time. Why doesn't this thing work the way I'm used to? He just didn't notice. Linux has the more beginner-friendly distros like the one I use, Linux Mint, has become very, very, very good at giving people something they know, and they are not spying on you. And even if they do, they are asking you to do it for permission to do it. And they are also very transparent about what the info they send to themselves. I think this should be the standard for commercial companies as well. If Samsung, which I'm unfortunately using their phone, has spyware on my Android phone, which it totally has, even though I paid a lot of money for it, like a gruesome amount of money, they should tell me about it. They should give me the option to opt out, but they don't. Right now, the only law in the world, I think, that makes spying on users less common is the GDPR, the European privacy laws. Sorry. And what I wanted to say, the thing they put the most attention about online is cookies. So every website you go to now has a pop-up that says, "Oh, we're using cookies," and they have a very big accept button and a very small or a very faded settings button to turn it off, and then you have to click on 10 things to turn them off. This is not how things should work. You should be given a full choice, not just about cookies like in Europe, but about everything. Like, are you sending money about me anywhere outside the website? I should know about it. We used to say in the good old days, and this is my main point of every tech videos I'll ever do, because I've been following this trend from 2014 or 15 in my articles. In the beginning of the internet, we were told if you're not paying for a product, you're the product. So you get Google for free. They are collecting info about you to show you ads. Unfortunately, in the last decade, that's not the case anymore. It's very slowly degraded, or escalated, I should say, into if you're not paying for the product, you're the product. And if you're paying for the product, you're still a product. Because what happens is companies sell your product and then use that product you allegedly own to continue making money off of you. So I pay Samsung for a phone, and then they earn more money on that phone by if I bought a Galaxy A series or M series or whatever the other cheap series are called, they actually pop up ads in the notification area. Xiaomi does the same. Xiaomi phones for at least a decade have shown ads for users who've paid for them, because their perception is, well, we have a certain margin on those phones, but we could have more if we continued making money off of them after the initial selling price. So you're not, when you're buying the product, you are not given the full ownership, or the company thinks you didn't pay enough. another thing, and that's been going on for like decades. When you buy a computer, mainly a laptop from Lenovo, Dell, HP, Acer, Asus, whatever, you'll see when you open it up and set up Windows, that it's not a clean Windows install. You'll always have some software on there. You have usually McAfee, which is the crappiest antivirus in the world. And you should, whenever you buy a laptop, that's what I do. The first thing I do, well, now it's deleting Windows, but before I used to delete Windows, the first thing I would delete was McAfee. McAfee is a garbage software. It doesn't protect you from viruses. It actually makes you more vulnerable to viruses because it confuses you with bullshit notifications that hackers can use to send you emails, to show you pop-ups, pretending to be McAfee, and then you get punked. It's so stupid. So I'm sorry. I'm ranting, and this is just a preview for a series of videos I want to do. That was a little chumpy. About I call it the ownership. I had a name for it. I've been talking English for so long. I cannot do it for 30 minutes straight without getting confused by a few things. The question of what owning something means has been shifting heavily in the last 10 years or a bit more, unfortunately. And one of the reasons I started this show was to talk about that. I mean, with all respect to politics and the war in my country and such things, the most important thing in my daily life is the fact I pay money and don't get what I expect to get. Louis Rossmann on YouTube, and he's just on YouTube nowadays. He has a Rumble channel, but isn't uploading anything. He has been talking about it for years. He's a warrior on the law that is referred to as the Right to Repair Bill in the US, which is also something that has to do with ownership questions. When you buy a phone, if you try to fix it in a third-party lab that happens to have the know-how and the parts, you're voiding the warranty in most cases, because the companies want you to pay more for them to fix it. Or usually they won't even fix it, they just give you a new device. And I mean, if it's Apple, other companies just will give you the same parts in like double the price than a private fixer shop. So don't believe anything you hear on YouTube. Well, except me, of course. I'll always try to say the truth. I do have some mistakes here and there. I oversimplified things about the cookies and referrals and things, but overall, I gave you the whole story, and I hope you learned something. As that's a Louis Rossmann sentence. I cannot use that. I hope I helped you see a light out there, and I hope to be here next week. Last week I had to travel and didn't have enough time to record, so next week, and then after that I'm going to the army, so every second week I'll have a show, hopefully. And I'll see you around.